Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the T95, the Tier 9 American tank destroyer, the Doom Turtle. It's located on the north spawn of Westfield and it's under the command of Steel Mike. Now he's got the 155mm gun, which is the top gun, capable of doing 750 alpha, penetrating 276mm of armour with standard AP. And with the APCR rounds he'll do 320mm, and he has got a few HE rounds as well. Now they'll do 950 alpha if they can penetrate 19mm of armour. There's no Arty in this game, so he doesn't have to worry about a bolt out of the blue smacking him about, but there are some pretty nasty tanks in the game. It's a tier 9 game with tier 7 tanks in it. Initially he's headed for the back of the map. Spotted a Super Hellcat. He was the first one to see that guy. Trying to pick his spot, I think. He decided he's not going to pick the heights to shoot from. It looks like he's going to head down near that object 257 and shoot from there or from the bushes. Now I've actually used these bushes myself before and they can be very effective so long as the enemy doesn't try to flank you on the right, because if they come up on that little heights there, they might see you as you're trying to deal some damage on the enemy directly in front of you. Okay, first target, Doom Turtle. Yep. Low roll, 694, he was too close to the bushes and he was seen. But he's angled nicely, so it's going to be difficult for the enemy T95 to get a shot in on him. Well, the Doom Turtle was at one point called the T28, then it was called the T29, then it was called the T28 again. It just depends on when the vehicle was in development as to which one it was called. They only built 2 prototypes, one of which was destroyed by a fire. The other one is now at the National Armour and Cavalry Collection at Fort Benning. Rob Coogan is working on it, or rather it has been worked on, and it's now gone into their museum. And if you check on Safety Line's website, you can actually see the video where they move it in to the museum. So it's now going to be lovingly cared for. Oh god, even a low roll on a defender is absolutely devastating. And you can see what I mean about flanking. The enemy's got to a position where they can flank him, but they just can't, he can't get shots on them at the moment. I don't think they can get shots on him. But he's getting closer to the bushes to see where they are. He can just see the top of the IS-3 too, so he can probably hit the turret. Didn't get through the turret. The enemy T95 appears to be trying to get up on the heights. Excuse me. Yeah, the ground's in between him and the Tiger 1 at the moment. The IS-3 too is the only one who keeps poking the ridgeline. Oh, this time round he gets a high roll penetration. The enemy T95 still not coming to a position where he can be shot at. But there's 2 T95s on the enemy team, but the other one is actually sitting at the back in the bushes waiting for somebody to poke over the ridgeline. And I think it's our Conqueror and IS-2 Shielded who are doing that. And there goes that T95. So who's next? Well, you're not going to get shots on him. He's too far away and he's over some undulations on the ground, so he's not a viable target at the moment. The Tiger 1 though is a lot closer, but he's still hiding behind the ridges in the ground. There's the T25 too, can hit him. Oh, destroyed him with 1 round, even a blind kill. Very nicely done. Yeah, you can see there's a big hill in between him and the Tiger 1. But the enemy is suffering but so is his team. Nope, that one didn't pen. But he was seen this time round. And he bounced around from an M103. There's the M103, just hiding around that corner. No, didn't get it. You can't see where the M103 fired the round in, but some rounds are going over his head. In fact, I think that was a shot from the P44. There's the M103 again. Yeah, there's a P44 just over there. Pantera keeps poking forward, but then takes damage and pulls back. M103 is being very cautious, and well, from that position it's fairly difficult to hit. There's the IS-32, still back over the other side of the ridgeline. I think he's hanging back now because he is low on hit points, and he knows if he pokes there's a good chance he's going to get hit. Now in the distance we can just make out an IKV-90B. He's being damaged by our teammates, so we'll leave him be for the moment. Still trying to get at that M103, the Tiger 1 and that enemy T95, who's actually moved up now, so he is closer. Oh! The IKV-90B just got wiped out. And we took a round in the tracks from the M103. The Pantera has come a bit closer. Way too close, and thankfully the Object 257 was actually his intended target there too, so we get a chance to reload, and one shot takes him out. We took him around from the Tiger 1. The others are hitting us with well, they're bouncing rounds off us like nobody's business now. The T95's come over the hill, so now he is vulnerable. Go for the low plate or the propeller. He didn't get it in, but neither did the enemy. Now don't back up too far, because you'll raise the rear and that will make it easier for them to penetrate those fuel tanks at the back. Potential steel wall if he can survive the battle. And he's still bouncing rounds. Go for the propeller. That's better. High rolls, 797. Blocked another shot from the Tiger 1 in the meanwhile. The T95 realises he's one shot now, but I'm pretty sure Steelman can get that cupola to kill that guy. One more shot. Yes! Beautifully done. Now the M103 has given up trying to get him with standard rounds, and is now, I think, punching in HE rounds, or at least it feels like it. Yep, I think that's an HE round. Yep, 420. It's not showing on the damage register anymore. Okay, he's backed up a lot, but the problem with backing up, of course, he raises the rear of the vehicle and makes it easier for them to get the weak spots. Don't back up this far, because if you can see, when he goes up that hill, he raises his rear and they can all get shots into his engine. You can see that's where they're aiming for. They're trying to get his engine, his fuel tanks. Don't raise the rear. M103's exposed. Oh, misses it. Don't try and tempt them by exposing your weak spots. He keeps doing it. I don't know if he's trying to deliberately do it to tempt them to shoot, to expose themselves. But you see, every time he does that, they just close off and pull back. Still bouncing the Tiger, who's wasting ammunition. He's not going to get through unless he hits a weak spot. 88mm rounds, no good. Not against this hull. Nope. And in fact now the HE is starting to have an effect. The M103 got 2 hit points off that one. they're firing expending all their HP, but yes, they are actually having an effect at last. Come on, get this right. Not loaded. He's making out that he's loaded to try and almost tempt them to fire. Ah, that's better. 215 hit points with an HE round. He's only got 3 AP rounds left. That's better, 168. He's starting to have an effect upon them now, but it's going to take a long time for him to kill them with HE alone. But that's his loadout. So it's 11 all at the moment. Only 4 tanks left on each side, and he's got 2 of them facing him. And another 231. The Tiger One's trying to get close. He's trying to flank him. Now will be a good time to get down into that dip, because that forced them only to come at him one at a time. If they both come at the same time, he'll get them with a penetrating shot, and that will be the end of their game. The Tiger One's just been wiped out, so now he can go at the M103. And despite the fact that the M103 is actually faster than he is, because his top speed is only 20 kilometers an hour, I kind of get the feeling the M103 is going to have to retreat, because he's not going to be able to get through the weak spots unless he uses APCR. And I kind of get the feeling he's probably run out of premium rounds. Hello Mr. M103, do you like an HE round delivered to you? He's backing up to try and see the weak spot. Now, trying to move the Rex into the right position. Oh, weak spot noticed. Go the other side of the Super Hellcat. There's no escaping it now, Mr. M103. You are going down. You've been tracked. He gets in for the ram. The M103 just can't get through the armor, but Steel Mike is going to do damage to the M103 regardless. He's trying to hug him, but there you go. He's out the game now. So there's only one enemy left. It's the IS-2, and he was last seen on the east side of the battlefield. I'm not sure we're going to get a chance to shoot at him. I think our teammates are probably a lot quicker, but his gun's up and he's happy, because basically they have won this game. Steel's got 4 kills. He blocked 6,500, in fact 7,500 of damage blocked. And here's the end of battle results, and it was a first class tanker for Steel Mike in the T95. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4 exactly. A shell proof for blocking more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle. A duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him. A fire effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle, and a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In this one, he managed to get 5 exactly. He got a cool headed because he survived at least 10 ricochets non-penetrating shots in a row. In fact, a lot of them were HE rounds because the enemy had run out of AP. They couldn't fire anything else at him. That's all they had left. He got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game. And finally, he got a steel wall for blocking the most damage in the game. And his win rate from that one was 6,933, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team scores and see where he stood. Well, there you go, right at the top of the table with 4,842 hit points of damage. He easily qualified for the cool-headed high caliber and steel wall. The next highest scorer was the Conqueror with 4,292, and he managed to get a Confederate in that game. So between them, these two really did most of the damage to the enemy. But unfortunately, the Conqueror didn't get any kills, which is rather a pity. Puts him bit further down the table. But you can see that Steel Mike was at the top of the table with 4 kills, 3 kills the IS-32 and the P-44 Pantera on his own, on the enemy team rather, and 2 kills the Su-122-44 Panther II, the IS-2 shielded, and the 53 TP on his own team. Nobody on the enemy team managed to get more than 1 kill than the Pantera and the IS-32. When it came to base XP, yes, he's got the top in that one as well, 1,195, the only one over 1,000, and the next high scorer being the Su-122-44 with 8,990, and the same amount also to the Conqueror, who scored such a high amount of damage but no kills. Let's have a look at the detail. 22 shots fired, 14 direct hits, 8 penetrations on the enemy, 4 splash. Damage of 4,842 hit points, of which 449 were at more than 300 meters. Those are the long range shots. 45 hits received from the enemy. What a large amount. He only needed 11 to get the steel wall if he was the one who blocked the most damage. But he got 45 shots. That's an incredible amount. 2 penetrations, 40 non-penetrations, and 4 hits by way of splash damage with the HE rounds. 7,510 hit points of damage blocked by armor. The enemy must have been getting very frustrated. They just couldn't get through the Doom Turtle's armor. Very difficult to. The only spots that are really vulnerable are, of course, the lower plate, which is very difficult to see, or those cupolas, which are easier to see. And, of course, Steel Mike saw the ones on the enemy tank and made sure he hit them. 1 enemy vehicle was spotted, 7 enemy vehicles damaged, 4 killed, and 386 hit points of spotting assist, I think that was. He earned 59,408 credits on a premium count, and after repair and ammunition resupply took away 3,450 credits altogether. Now, I think the thing is that he did have to buy some premium ammo, and that's why the costs are so high. He also managed to get 25 bonds for achievements, 1,792 XP, 1,500 for completing a mission, and 3,292 experience points altogether. I think somebody actually said learn to shoot, or maybe he was actually thinking about that from the enemy's point of view. They just couldn't put the shells in the right spot, whereas he was finding it much easier to do the same to the enemy on the moments when he actually needed it, when he was taking down the enemy Doom Turtle. So, very good game, Steel Mike. A lot of bongs in that game, wasn't there? A lot of bangs from the enemy, but none of them actually, well, most of them didn't pen. But 45 hits, that is an incredible score. If you know better, let me know. So, I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.